EHI is one of Australia's largest distributors of industrial and domestic wheels, casters and general home and builders hardware. Today Andrew Arthey, CFO, speaks with us about Datapel. Andrew, welcome to Customer Insights 2016. Can you tell me what was the main motivation for the new system?
It's like I said, it was paper based, so it was human managed. So the way that that's what we had was, it was humans controlling the whole function and then bringing it back in. We used to write on a bulk pallet to say what was in there, and then once you took it out, you would actually tear out the piece of paper off what was written on there to say, oh, I've taken them out now, and then go to the computer and type in the inventory is not in that pallet anymore, it's been relocated to move. So it was totally up to human interaction to manage it, because the accounting system couldn't do it. And then with the ICXE system, there's no human interaction per se. Everything has a barcode, and with ICXE you can create a barcode for anything. Like, you need, we've created some internal barcodes for ourselves to use for certain things that ICXE picks up, and we put it on outer boxes that come in, like, there's 400 units in it. So we've labelled an outer box, so ICXE goes, well, that's one box of 400 units. So we can bring it into the warehouse and just scan the outer box and go, that's 400 units. So we don't have to scan the units or the actual barcode on the product. We just create our own one that the system uses, and it's straightforward.
What was the process before starting with the Datapel solution?
Oh, okay, yeah. So previously we would have, there's a whiteboard out the back, still there, and would have clips with all their names. And so you would have a warehouse manager who would have to go through the paperwork and go, right, okay, let's just sort them out evenly. We need to give so many big orders, so many small orders, and share them out. And so we would print off the orders, create a tray. So like 2 or 3 times a day, the warehouse manager have to come, sort through, see what it is visually, and then assign them to whoever's there.
With Datapel, what benefits were achieved when adopting the system?
And push it through. So it saves, where we used to print out 500 sheets a day of various papers and whatnot, so now we have the manifest and the connote copies that you have to have paper copies of those for the truck drivers that we print out. So we don't have picking slips, and we don't capture them. We used to have to scan all the picking slips in to capture, keep a track of who picked what and who was it. So with staff-wise, if there was an error and it was a constant error, you could come back and go, oh, look at that. The last 5 errors were done by Adam, we know, because we've had to check all those orders. Whereas now you know who it is because every user has their own login, and once you've logged in, it captures the data that you're picking.
So what about return on investment from the Datapel system?
With the ICXE stuff, within 3 months, we reduced our warehouse staff by about 25%. It's a huge saving, because your slower pickers became right on the mark very quickly. So the idea was, we could get, anyone at all to come in and pick in a short time. You're up to speed. Whereas with the paper-based system, you had human errors, and some people never got to that mark because they had to try and interpret the product and go, have I got it? And visually look at it and read it and go, oh, is that the right product off my sheet? So those that were not confident would be only half as fast. But once you've got the scanning, you don't even have to know what the product is. Like if you follow the gun and just go to that bin, you scan the bin, it will tell you, yes, you're at the right bin. Then it'll say, scan this product. You'll scan the product. It'll tell you whether it is right or wrong. So you don't have to know the product, all you got to know is whether the gun is saying yes or no, and then move on. And yeah, it made it so much easier without dispatch.
You developed a warehouse leaderboard. Can you describe how this works?
So the idea behind it is, you know, we set targets on how many lines or how many orders or what value you want to get out in a day. You know, it's like there's certain days that you know that it's a very busy period, and you need as much staff as possible because, you know, you've got to get out as much goods at a time. You set the target so all the staff can see you're trying to reach a target, and I have a percentage of a target. You know, like, oh, we're trying to aim for 50,000 lines today. You know, so the staff can see in live how many lines they've picked. You know, it's, you know, percentage of goal. Yeah. So we just create a little pie chart that goes like, you know, 60%, 70%, 80%. So if they get to 100%, they feel good that, oh, we've reached our goal. And so it's just a visual thing on a screen, and it's just a simple spreadsheet that refreshes from the data. On that there, also we've created where the warehouse manager can actually just type in urgent orders, and the person, it looks up who's it's been assigned to. So you put the order number in, and we'll have, you know, Adam as his username. So when he finishes one order, where the TV screen is, he can look at it and go, oh, actually, one of my orders is urgent. So he can scroll through the gun and go, okay, I'm doing that one now. And it just makes it easier from a management perspective, because previously you would have to hunt them down and say, Adam, have you got that order? And he'd click through paperwork or whatever and go, oh yeah, I've got that. Okay, remember just to do that next. You know, and if they weren't paying attention, it might not get done next. And so the idea is, with the spreadsheet they've got there, he's got a little ticker to say that it has been done. So the warehouse manager can have a look. If it's urgent, like it'll have done. Like, you know, once it's been picked in ICXC and the data's refreshed, it'll say done. So
So how has this improved productivity?
I know in New South Wales there's a challenge amongst themselves to get the highest number of lines and the highest dollar value, and they know themselves like, oh, so-and-so did 72 lines an hour that day. You know, so they try, and it's one of those things where it's an internal competition for themselves to sort of benchmark each other.
How did you create achievable targets to motivate staff?
The benchmarks that we set is like, I will go and pick it. And like, I won't have picked ever for a long time, and I'll go and see how I go. And I mean, I can do probably about 45 lines an hour. Just go out there, use the gun, and pick it. So I'm not doing it every day, and you know, and I'll pack the pallet and do everything so it shows you how long it took me to do a 100-line order. So if I can do it in that one, you go, well, you should be able to. If one person can come that doesn't do it all the time, but knows how the system, you know, set a benchmark to do it. So the idea behind it is that a lot of the pickers will be past that benchmark, and we create an incentive. So you know, if the benchmark's 45, if they pick 50 lines an hour, they'll get an extra 25 cents an hour pay. You know, if you can pick 60 lines an hour, you'll get 50 cents an hour. Like, so the idea behind it is you set the benchmark and then say you get an incentive for going beyond. But if you can't even get up to the benchmark, then, you know, it's one of those things that sort of, maybe there's something that's not happening. Are they not working? Or are they don't understand how to use the gun? But it's very quick. You can, within a couple of days, you can see their statistics. So then turn around and go, well, you should be okay now. Like, you know, the hardest thing a picker has to learn now is how to stack a pallet.
Yeah.
You know, because I did. Heavy things on the bottom, a lot of things on the top. But the way that we've done our pick run is that it always starts at the heavier items and then finishes up on the lighter items. So it's not as if they have to go, oh, I've got to remember to unstack it and then put it back on. We know how we've done our run that this is how it should work. If you get one of every item, if you were to pick it and stack it, it'd be fine. As you got it, stack it. Got it, stack it.
So as long as they follow the process from the gun, which is already set up to work the way it should do, then there should be nothing for them to think about.
No, they literally just have to follow the gun. Like it says, go to that bin, go, and they can't go further. And we've got an audio, you know, bing, 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 to saying yes, and dun, dun, if they've done an error. So the idea is if they've done an error, they can look at the gun and go, oh, hang on, oh, wrong product. Oh, sorry, I've picked the wrong product. For them to do it. But yeah, so the hardest thing they've got to learn is to pack a pallet or pack a box or